guys for 1,000 views on one of my clips on YouTube. It's so amazing watching this YouTube channel grow so much. And hopefully we can translate this to Twitch as well. Share the video to your friends, share the video to anyone that will benefit from this information that I be giving you guys on these platforms. So today I'm going to be reacting to Captain Steve again, and we're going to look at the reasons for the turbulence that happened on the Delta flight, and this is just something for educational purposes. Anyone that's an aviation enthusiast, anyone doing aerospace engineering, whether you are a trainee pilot like myself, or if you are just bored and just looking for something to watch, come join me. Let's grow this community. I really enjoy doing this, and I'm also investing in more equipment to make my content as best as possible as I can. So here we go.
With a simple search on Get Your Guide, explore new places and local culture with expert guides. Find unique
Minneapolis Airport plane spotters streamed the emergency landing live.
A picture from that Delta flight that we talked about earlier from Salt Lake to Amsterdam that hit extremely violent turbulence.
Ambulances lined up for dozens of patients after the Delta jumbo jet hit extreme turbulence over Wyoming.
Recently, a Delta A330 aircraft experienced severe turbulence en route from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam. What happens when a large airliner experiences severe turbulence? Let's watch.
Minneapolis, Delta 567 is emergency aircraft. We're at 11.5, sending a 1-0 at 10,000.
Okay, the main player here is Delta 56. Like I said, they're en route from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam. They're very heavy because they've got a long flight ahead of them, and they experience severe turbulence. Now, what is severe turbulence exactly? Well, there's three different levels that we're trained in at the airlines. One is light turbulence. That's the one that most of us experience when we fly on a routine flight. No big deal. Your drink doesn't even spill. Moderate turbulence is when your drink starts to slosh out of the cup a little bit, and you want to grab it before it falls off the tray table. Very uncomfortable feeling. Severe turbulence are to be avoided at all costs. We don't dispatch through severe turbulence. We don't try to fly through severe turbulence. We are updating our weather applications all the time on my iPad to make sure that we don't fly through severe turbulence. And any pilot that gets anywhere close to severe turbulence makes a pilot report to let all the other pilots know to avoid that area. All that being said, Delta flew through severe turbulence and some people got hurt. Let's follow along.
Delta 56, have Minneapolis approach, runway 12 right. Expecting runway 12 right, proceeding direct destiny at this time.
Okay, so they're on their way now to Amsterdam. They divert into Minneapolis. They're at 37,000 feet. They're about 150 miles, I don't know, northeast, I guess you would say, of St. Louis or Salt Lake City, excuse me, when the aircraft encountered severe turbulence. 25 people were injured altogether. I'll talk about how those 25 people got hurt here in just a minute.
Delta 567, do you know your gate? Gate Gulf 3, Delta 567. Delta 56 tower, it says that Gulf 3 gate is full, so you might want to talk with your company. Delta 56, you get right on that, make sure.
Interestingly, as you've listened to incidents and accidents on this channel, you get a feel for how air traffic controllers will start to gather information. Everybody does it a little bit differently. Some of it do it right from where the incident is forward. Some of them go all the way to the end and work their way backwards. That's what this controller is doing. He's already at the gate and says, hey, your gate is occupied. Okay, we'll take care of that. You know what? For this crew, that's probably the least of their concerns right now is whether the gate's open or not. But they can certainly send a message to dispatch to say, make sure the gate is open. They'll resolve that here before the end of the video. But that's how this air traffic controller is deciding to do it. He's going to work backwards from the gate to this airplane. He's going to ask them for all the normal information as they declare an emergency.
Delta 56, Heavy, can you give me total passenger count and fuel remaining?
Very common, right? They always ask that.
Delta 56, passenger count 259 souls on board, and fuel remaining is 10 hours.
You said 259 for the souls?
That is permanent for passengers on board.
Okay, now listen to that very carefully. If you're savvy to how this is usually worded, he asked him for how many people were on board. He gives it in terms of souls on board, which is the standard way that we give how many people total are on board. Then at the end, Delta says passengers on board. So he gives him one number, 259. He says souls on board. And now there's some confusion because he ends it with that's how many passengers are on board. They're going to clarify that here in a little bit. You're going to find out that there's two different numbers. That's why we use the expression souls on board. That is total people, passenger, crew, jump seaters, children, infants, any human being on that airplane is counted on souls on board. And the Delta pilot just confused that by saying passengers at the end.
Thanks. Delta 56 Heavy to try to maintain 7,000.
7,000 on 57.
They're starting their descent now into Minneapolis.
Medical arriving at gate Gulf 3 at approximately 19:50 hours for up to 7 people injured from severe turbulence, 1 individual reporting broken leg and fractured ribs.
So now you're listening to the ground reporting. The ARF, as we know them, the airport rescue and firefighters, have to get prepared for this airplane to come in. Usually the communication is from a ground controller or the tower controller to the ARF chief to say, start the trucks rolling, get in position. I'm going to tell you when the aircraft is next. So they don't know who it is exactly, but as soon as they say that airplane that's landing right now, that's your emergency aircraft, then they'll all get in a position. They'll let that airplane land and roll out. They'll follow in behind them on the runway. If that airplane stops on the runway, then they will circle that airplane, take a look and make sure the airplane's okay. If they taxi off, they'll follow them off the taxiway and do the exact same thing. So that communication is getting taken care of while they're on their way in with injuries on this aircraft.
You'll never pay for Netflix again after seeing this.
Netflix and Apple pray you never find out about this. This time.
Delta 56 Heavy, cut approach 126.5.
126.5, Delta 56 Heavy.
Switching off to the normal frequencies as they get closer to the airport.
Bridge, Delta 56 Heavy is with the bridge of the aircraft with you, 9,300, descending 7,000, direct SE.
Delta 56 Heavy, minute approach, descend to maintain 6,000.
And we'll be right back. But first, a word from our sponsor, Henson Shaving. So here's the thing. When you're a pilot, you have to stay clean shaven. And it's not about looking sharp. It's about the oxygen mask sealing to your face. No beard equals more breathability, which means I shave a lot. And for years, that meant, well, irritation, razor burn, and wondering why I was spending $20 on a plastic cartridge that felt like dragging a cheese grater across my face. Third and smooth scalper, and give your face a break. Exactly why you always give it. And soul might say, why don't you say it that way? Well, you could ask it that way, but you're going to meet that airplane, want to know exactly, because at the end of the day, by saying passengers. So now is exactly why you always give it in souls on board, which is the total number of people, and you don't confuse it by saying passengers. So now the whisper down the lane is, was it 259 passengers or 259 total people on board? Because at the end of the day, the firefighters that are going to meet that airplane want to know exactly how many human beings are on that airplane. You might say, why don't you say it that way? Well, you could ask it that way, but the traditional way from maritime shipping way back in the day was souls on board.
That's 270 souls on board, Delta 56.
Ah, it's a different number. He gave 259 and he said total souls on board. Then he said 259 passengers. It ends up that there's 270 souls on board. He didn't include the crew. So that was a good clarifying question on the part of air traffic control.
Is it total number or souls?
With the crew on board, 270 souls on board.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now we've got that straightened out. Whew.
Well, the overweight passed on final. We're looking at a fresh speed of 153 knots, which is fairly close to normal.
Thank you. All right, he's giving him good information
Delta
here.
56 Heavy, you can descend and maintain 4,000 now, 2 miles from Zesty, cross Zesty, 4,000, cleared ILS, runway 12 right approach.
Zesty at 4, cleared ILS, runway 12 right approach, Delta 56.
Okay, all the
Delta
checklists
56
are
Heavy,
done.
maintain 2 on 0 knots or greater as long as practical. Let me know when you need to slow.
10 till we need to slow, Delta 56.
Going to get him in a hurry because he knows there's injuries on board and these people need to get to the doctor.
Delta 56, we have confirmation from our company that they are pushing Gulf 3, gate Gulf 3 at this time.
Delta 56 Heavy, thank you.
Probably going to clear him right straight to the gate as soon as they check out the aircraft.
And Delta 56, we're slowing at this time for commencing approach.
Delta 56 Heavy, roger, maintain 170 knots or greater until pins available.
Now he's going to intercept final.
Delta 56. And Delta 56, we'd like to go to tower for wind check.
Delta 56 Heavy, contact tower 126.7, good night.
Right, making a right turn on the final. Getting the aircraft configured with the flaps and the gear at this time.
Delta 56, emergency aircraft, we are Zesty for runway 12 right, wind check.
Lima G56, Minneapolis Tower, winds currently 04012, gust 20, traffic holds in position. Runway 12 right, clear to land.
Okay, now why did he ask him for a wind check? That's very important. If you look at the wind direction and the gust, it's coming from 040, but they're landing on runway 12. That's 80 knots off the left side. So I'm going to have to compensate for that as a pilot. I'm going to have to put a little wing down and top rudder to counteract that as I'm coming in. But I want to know 20 knots, that's a pretty good crosswind. So it's going to be a little bit of a tricky, challenging landing as they come in. It's good to know that stuff ahead of time. That's why he asked.
Clear to land, runway 12 right, Delta 56.
And Captain, I think it was it 15, Captain 15, the next to land is the emergency.
She's now communicating with the fire chief that the next aircraft to land is the emergency aircraft. Gives a thumbs up.
Captain 5,
Delta 2145, flighting 120, runway 12 right, clear for takeoff.
120, clear for takeoff, 12 right, Delta 2145.
And ICAO 656, Minneapolis Tower, be ready to go, runway 12 right, line up and wait traffic, so 6 mile final is a heavy
So they
air
still are
box, and,
conducting
they do have
business,
a
right? There's
medical
still people
emergency
taking
on
off
board.
from that runway.
Okay, land up runway 12 right.
The airport doesn't stop operating just because there's an emergency on the way in. Okay, here he comes. Now finally on for 12 right. You can see actual footage of the aircraft now. So there's really nothing wrong with the airplane. There's just injured passengers on board. Even through severe turbulence, there's nothing wrong with the airplane. So the question is, now he rolls out. The fire truck is going to proceed onto the runway. They're going to follow him off onto a taxiway. They're going to take a look at the airplane to make sure it's okay. That takes 30 seconds. Then that airplane is going to continue to taxi to that gate Gulf 3 because they want to get there as quickly as they can to get these people medical attention. Hopefully the paramedics now are all there waiting. Ambulances are waiting as well to take these people off the airplane. There are 25 total injuries. How does that happen? Well, again, I turn that seatbelt sign on all the time. Now, I don't leave it on all the time, but when I need to have it on, I turn it on. And if you're back there and you don't look at it or you don't care about it or you just don't want that seatbelt fastened, you're taking a lot of risk. I can't always predict bumpy air. And in a situation like this, they're having a completely normal day and then whack, they get hit by severe turbulence. I had one episode in all my years of flying at the airline where we took people to the hospital because of turbulence, and it was a total surprise. We were going through kind of light turbulence from Miami to Milan. We were hugging the east coast of the U.S. on the way up to Canada, and we started to experience some moderate turbulence where your drink is sloshing around. I made a PA to the passengers and the flight attendants. I said, I want everybody to take a seat. Right now, I've turned the seatbelt sign on. I want you to return to your seat and make sure your seatbelt is fastened. That wasn't the automated one that they normally get. That was directly from me as well. If you hear from the captain and the captain makes that PA, folks, click your seatbelt. I don't know why you don't. Because the inside of the airplane is dangerous to you if you come flying out of that seat. So we're just flying along normally. About 20 minutes later, after I made that announcement, we hit 9 seconds worth of severe turbulence. In that 9 seconds of severe turbulence, and I'll throw you up a picture right here to take a look. I took that picture after we landed. It was the aft galley of the airplane. All of that stuff and debris that you see all over the floor, that was all neatly tucked away, and all of the latches were closed to hold it in place. That's how severely the back of that airplane shook. With that being said, 7 people total on my flight came flying out of their seats and landed somewhere on the airplane in that 9 seconds. There were fortunately no broken bones. One lady did cut her kind of back of her leg pretty severely. We had physicians on board. They were able to get the bleeding stopped. That was the good news for her. 4 of those people were passengers that just simply refused to click their seatbelt, even though I told them and the seatbelt sign was on. And 3 of them were flight attendants that didn't have their seatbelt fastened. And I had told them to take a seat, and they just sat in their seat and they didn't fasten their seatbelt. So again, you got to take responsibility for yourself in a situation like that. If you're in moderate turbulence, make sure that that seatbelt is fastened. If the captain comes on and says, do it, absolutely do it. So 25 people got injured here. I think 4.
So yeah, people, this is a constant, a simple reminder to just, keep yourself safe. Even though you are in a plane and you think that you've traveled for the longest time and you think nothing really bad happens, turbulence are one of the most impactful causes of injuries on airplanes. So yeah, I agree. I always put my seatbelt on straight away. I don't know why. When you look on your left, you look on your right, and you see a passenger just ignoring the instruction from the pilot, and you're like, only if you knew what could potentially happen to you. Like, people do lose their lives in those 9 seconds, as you mentioned, in those turbulence situations. So yeah, people, what we learned from this video, that obviously the people that were operating this Delta flight were very cautious and kept a constant dialogue with the ATC, getting instructions, following those instructions. If you are an aspiring pilot, you need to be able to follow instructions and be able to communicate clearly and precisely. And obviously, as you've seen, they double clarified on the number of passengers and souls on board. He also, Captain Steve also, denotes the difference between the souls and passengers when you mention that to ATC, as all these are different, ways of explaining who's on board on the aircraft. So yeah, you get taught this through ground school. You are meant to know how severe turbulences can affect the structure of the aircraft. Obviously, pilots do the best they can to control or counteract the turbulence, on which direction the turbulence is happening. Obviously, you are trained to, put the weight on the opposite side so that you get a balance in your aircraft. So yeah, thank you so much, Captain Steve, for that unbelievable breakdown of this situation.
4 or 5 kind of seriously. There were some broken bones in this one, and they were carted off to the hospital. Everybody was stabilized and did well after that. But again, it's not an episode that you want to go through, nor I want to go through. So can these things happen? Yes, they do. Do they happen all the time? It's pretty rare. I think the incidence of severe turbulence accidents and incidents has really kind of plummeted over the years, even though when it does make the news, it makes the news in a big way, and we all think, oh, this is terrible, it's happening all over the place. It's not happening as much as it used to, but you don't want to have it happen to you, and nor do I. I have to tell you, I felt really bad that anybody on my flight got hurt. It bothered me a lot. I did everything I could, short of going back and fastening everybody's seatbelt. But as you know, there's some people that simply refuse to buckle that seatbelt. I have no idea why. But again, you're the first person that's going to get carted off in it.
Well, thank you for watching another reaction video from your BlackPilot-MJ. Thank you very much to people that are boosting those views. Please like, comment, and leave a comment in the comment section. I want to come and respond to those comments. If you need me to improve my reaction style, obviously a few weeks back when I uploaded, people did say I don't speak much. I let the videos run because obviously it's better to just stay silent, take in the information, and give my own opinion towards the end or at the beginning. Thank you so much. I love the fact that my channel is growing slowly but surely. Hopefully, you know, good stuff could come from this. I'm really passionate about this, and I'm ready to share as much information to you guys. So like the video, let's get it to like 10 likes, and then also share the video to anyone that you know. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, see you soon.